Right now, we're in a very convenient state and everybody's throwing around judgment and blame like it's free. You know, it's funny, in the last 6 months, a friend of mine, Ted, helped me with this on social recently. Like, I've changed my tone on this. I used to be very aggressive about this because I love being one, and I think that I was potentially audacious and things that I don't appreciate. I think, look, entrepreneurship has a very clear definition. You're working for yourself. Let's leave it at that, right? Like, my idea that you always had to sell candy and you always were that person, that's just me being on the extreme spectrum of entrepreneurship. And I guess, no question, I take enormous pride and satisfaction that I was one in the 80s and 90s when nobody was, and I got shit on for it, and education was the only game, and now to watch everybody lean into my thing, there's a sense of like, you know, but I think I've got to unwind that a little bit because I think it's dangerous as I have more attention to be too binary about this. It's not complicated.
When you're struggling, the best course of action is to develop a strong mentality. Motivational speaker Garyvee gives lots of tips on how you can strengthen your mind day to day. You're going to have hard things come at you, but be open to taking on a lot of risk. And not everything that happens to you is luck. Work ethic is a taught behavior. You can train yourself to work harder. And remember that nothing positive comes out of complaining. Complaining is such a negative action, and it will bring you down. Always be bold and brave in what you believe in, even if no one else in the room agrees with you. Finally, take action. Execute your ideas. Action is always better than ideas. An idea itself will get you nowhere. So by using these tricks from Garyvee, hopefully you can develop a strong mentality.
Look, like, I get it. Like, I can throw a football every day for 9 hours a day. I'm just not physically built to be competitive at the highest levels. So yeah, I do think, you know, if anybody watching right now, if there's anything they take away, it's like, look, like, you're gonna only be so pretty, you're only gonna be so smart. There's things that are gonna be natural, and then there's things that you can actually control. I do believe, and I don't know if I'm right or wrong, I don't, but I do believe that work ethic is a taught behavior. It's something you do have more control over. And you know what really sealed the deal for me? Getting healthier. I was 38 years old and it didn't come natural to me. Like, it didn't come natural to me at all. I hate the gym. I hate it now. I hate it. I don't like it. I don't want to do it, but I knew it was important. And somewhere around midway through being 38 years old, I got serious. I figured out my system. I made the financial commitment, and I've won, right? And I'll never lose again because the system was I needed to be accountable to another human being. So it was about Mike and now Jordan and whoever else is my trainer. I'm doing it almost weirdly more to not let them down. And so that was the shift. And so I feel like there's a shift that can make people work harder. The big one that I push is you're gonna die. Saying it in a respectful way matters because in 3 years when it becomes true, the other 7 people in that room will remember that, and that may lead to the growth in your career that you're looking for. People think they grow in their career by staying within the framework of their organization. They're actually quietly, subconsciously ruining their career if they don't agree with the point of view. And I know for fact, because the best part of Cannes for me, hands down, is 2, 3 o'clock in the morning when people have so much rosé in them, they start talking truth. I know for a fact that there's a lot of people that have strategies or executions they don't personally believe in. It's just a framework of where the margin is in their company or what they have to be held accountable to a bonus. And that's a tough life in some way. I mean, this is only just work. There's much bigger things going on. But I will say being on the record in a room respectfully of what you actually believe, brave, is a very, very good idea. And honestly, back to brave, there's so much content. There's so much going on in the world. What I think this room believes and defines as brave is actually the only prayer to break through consumer attention to make something happen in your business. Once in every 4 months, somebody sends an email saying, I've got a huge startup that I want you to invest in, but you've got to sign this NDA, right? Which literally every time gets an email back that says, right? And the reason is, I'm a humongous believer that ideas are and that execution's the game, right? We've all got ideas. Everybody's got ideas. Do you know how many ideas we all have here? We could probably sit here for the next 2 hours, draw them all out, record them, and predict the next 78 great startups over the next 9 years. So I think the thing that is another theme in entrepreneurship is there is way too much fodder brought to the idea. Uber was Magic Cab 3 years earlier. Uber is not an idea. Uber existed. It's called Magic Cab. But the guys that executed it sucked, so they lost. So I think, you know, if there's any level of romance left in this room about your idea, I'd like to suffocate it because I think the actual situation is what you actually do with it.
Thank you for watching, and please don't forget, to like, comment, and subscribe.